Hello Nigerians, welcome to Beyond the Headlines. I am Tochku Raphael. Yesterday morning, Dele Farotimi, a human rights activist and lawyer, dropped amid a walk into a magistrate court in Ado-Ekiti of Ekiti State, flanked by security agents. Moments later, he dashed out of the court, his right hand up, meeting a band of sympathizers who were chanting a solidarity song.
Comrade, solidarity. Comrade.
You can't push me. Why are you pushing me?
Revolution! Nothing shall discourage us. Solidarity forever. We shall always fight for solidarity forever.
To Farotimi and many Nigerians, the raised hand was one of victory for advocacy and liberty of Nigerians. Meanwhile, the activist got to wriggle himself out of one of the harshest bail conditions ever. To be free, he was to pay a whopping 30 million naira. He was to get 2 sureties, one of which shall be a property owner. He was to also submit his passport. And finally, Farotimi must not grant any media interview, speaking on Chief Afe Babalola, his opposing party. Now, are these not harsh, biting conditions? In October, a certain Alex Ikweshe, member of the House of Representatives, was granted 500,000 naira bail. Alex did not defame, but he threatened the very life of a citizen. But he got more lenient bail condition than Farotimi, who has been fighting for the freedom and liberty of Nigerians. Then, the following month, a court reportedly granted 760 million bail to about 76 end-bad governance protesters. Some of these were minors who had taken to the street because of hunger imposed and weaponized by the political class. What a distressing irony. Farotimi's case has stirred reactions from like minds such as the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, the African Action Congress candidate Omoyele Sowere, and the former chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu. As a way to express his commitment to the fight for freedom, Peter Obi has offered to foot the bail condition. This was made known by the national coordinator of the Obedient Movement, Dr. Yunus Tanko. On his X page, Tanko said, I quote, "I consulted His Excellency Peter Obi as the leader of the Obedient Movement. As a respecter of the rule of law, due process and order, he offered to take Dele Farotimi on the bail conditions. He thanked our courts and all concerned on this matter. His concern is that situation be resolved to the best interest of all concerned as well as our legal team. He extended his sincere appreciation to all concerned." End of quote. Then the activist Sowore has been more aggressive in his ideas about social change. Sowore is mad about the restructuring of the police system, starting with the Inspector General of Police, whom he regards as the architect of Farotimi's arrest. On his page, Sowore wrote, "The illegal IG of the police will make the next NSAS inevitable. He is working tirelessly towards it. It is just a matter of time." Sowore is also infuriated at the judicial system. He addressed the magistrate court in Ekiti State as kangaroo court that flouts due process and is more concerned about convicting a suspect than exploring the facts and the morality of the case. Sowore shares in the belief of an entrenched endemic criminality in the whole Nigerian polity. Therefore, he strongly holds that only the abolition of the 1999 Constitution or a revolution can salvage what is left in Nigeria. Take a listen to what he said on restructuring some time ago.
The other thing we want to do is restructuring. And people have asked me that question a lot. What's your position on restructuring? My position is not dictated and determined by the people who are making noise about restructuring. And with due respect, I'm not being disrespectful to people who are discussing it, but what I'm saying is that when we are discussing restructuring for Nigeria, I don't want an 80-year-old man to be the person speaking for me, because they are already at the departure lounge of life, and they are the ones who failed this country in the first place. I don't want to mention names here. They should allow the young people of this country to restructure Nigeria for their own future. And I belong in that generation. I have been around for 29 years. I know most of the proponents of restructuring in the country today. They are not interested in restructuring Nigeria. They are interested in dividing up whatever is left of Nigeria, sharing amongst themselves, and making some available for their own generations that are yet unborn. So for us to restructure Nigeria, we have to be in position of authority and power to make those decisions. Because as I'm sitting here today, if they call a restructuring meeting in Abuja tomorrow, they wouldn't even let me into the place. And there are 70% of Nigerians that are in my position who are not invited to those important decision-making meetings. So that's where we are. Then we go from there, we talk about health, education, agriculture, tourism. We call these things spicer heat. And all of them are equally important, but we will start, of course, with security, because we have to secure this country. This country is one of the most insecure countries in the world. There are countries that are at war today where not many people get killed as they do in Nigeria. And Nigeria is said to be.
Moving forward, the former boss of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, has also wailed on the case. He's a vocal critic of the criminality in Nigeria's judicial system. On Farotimi, so his reaction was very much anticipated. Professor Odinkalu is not just any kind of lawyer. There are many practitioners of law who have the talent to conduct legal cases, but there are also wizards of law who have the natural gift to explore deepest insights in law, which are beyond the imagination of ordinary lawyers. In Farotimi's case, Professor Odinkalu pointed out certain errors in the case. First, he said that defamation has been abolished in Ekiti state law since 2021, and therefore the case should have been struck out in the first instance. He also criticized the bail application requested by the court, denouncing it as unintelligible. He said, a magistrate asking you to bring an application for bail on a charge in which the maximum penalty is 2 years either has not gone to school properly or has a mission to fulfill. End of quote. He made further statement on this during an interview on the channel's television. According to him, a magistrate court is a court of summary jurisdiction, meaning that any matter brought before it should be decided summarily. In contrast, the High Court and other courts above it are superior courts of records, which means that every matter must be on record. The professor went ahead to say that there are 3 categories of crime in the Nigerian law. The first category refers to simple offenses that are punishable with not more than 6 months in jail. These offenses could also be disposed of with fines because they are minor. Then, the second category refers to misdemeanors, which are crimes punishable with not more than 2 years imprisonment. These crimes are also not that serious. And finally, the third category is felony, which is a serious crime punishable with not more than 3 years in jail. The professor said that the maximum penalty for the alleged crime of Farotimi is 2 years. Therefore, there is no basis for the court's requesting of an application for bail. Further, he noted that Farotimi is lawfully entitled to bail because of the principle of presumption of innocence. He then brought another issue that in Nigeria's prisons, over 75% of persons there are awaiting trial, which means that prisons are not holding the persons they are meant to hold, which are the convicts. Professor Odinkalu, like Dele Farotimi, has a revolutionary view of the Nigerian judiciary. For him, the only difference between bandits in the bushes and government is false legality. That's why he said, it should be clear that Dele Farotimi is not going through a legal trial. He is going through judicial terrorism and legal terrorism. This is hostage taken using excuse of appearances of judicial authority of the most disgracefully perverse kind. End of quote. On this note, I come to the end of this program. If you loved it, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments, share my videos, and then subscribe to the Diaspora Digital Media for more exciting stories. I am Tochukwu Raphael. See you next time.